This show contains violence and adult language. If you haven't listened to the first episode of By Grace, head on back there and listen to that. We'll be waiting for you. And to everybody caught up, welcome back to the Weird West. The individuals coming from the mine of Clarence Wharton with a new nugget of ghost rock in tow pass over the 2 train tracks that run through the town of Soot Bell. We get a shot of their dusty hooves clicking over this rail line, walking over the slight mound that accompanies it, and then we cut to them hooking up their horses in front of the Explorers Society. I think it's a decently large building. It's probably about 60 feet by 30 feet. Enough room in there for quite a few different activities to occur. See them getting off their horses and bringing this ghost rock inside. Dr. Soren and Grant, where are you two bringing this rock inside to? What room do we cut into?
I think the two of us share a lab/office.
We loaded the rock up on top of Peggy, and so Soren's just been following along as Grant leads us into this room. And he's just been examining the separation between where this runed, it's like a metal material, right?
Yeah.
And the ghost rock is, seeing if there's any points where he might be able to break off this ghost rock.
If that's the task you want to set upon, you can do that easily enough. It would be pretty easy just to get like a chisel and hammer and start to crack it apart, breaking open a big egg.
As we were walking into the room, that's sort of the direction that we've been heading in.
Cool.
I think we also have access to a lot of different books and scholarly works, different sort of research papers, that kind of thing. There could be some sort of book on some sort of ancient languages or something.
Certainly, you probably would have brought that with you.
I probably wouldn't know where it is because Grant's not really interested in that sort of thing. So I don't know if you would, or if maybe Dolores would be able to find it since, she's an anthropologist and all. She would know what she's looking for more than I would.
Well, as you lead the group into this shared research lab, there's already a figure sitting at one of your chairs, fiddling with something at the table. Probably a figure you don't recognize, at least not from the back. They got like a brown tweed jacket on, gray slacks, and some city slicker shoes on. And they've got like a really thin brimmed Stetson hat on that's a little too big for them. And they're leaning over something that's on your work table.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Oh, well, hey there, partner. How you doing there?
Well, I'm doing just fine. What are you doing here in our office?
Dr. Soren dips his head out from behind the ghost rock he's been examining. Oh, there are more of you today.
Oh, that's right. We're here to see what you found. My name's Phineas there. And the guy stands up. He's got a big mustache that's curled up, a blonde mustache, shaved sides of his head. He's got a blue tie on, and he very eagerly pushes his hand out at you.
There's a long stare from Dr. Soren down the bridge of his nose across to this dude's outstretched hand. And he just sort of blinks at it a couple times and then goes back behind the ghost rock and keeps at his work.
Are you sitting here from the society?
Here for the tombstone, actually. The epitaph.
Well, what are you doing here?
Oh, you can't be serious.
Well, I just happened to be in town looking at some other things, and I heard that you had a bit of a run-in with, he, scrambles through his notes real quick, and he pulls out this small notepad. Let's see here. Clarence Wharton?
Well, everybody in this town's had a bit of a run-in with
Is this
Clarence
what you
Wharton.
brought back right here?
Who told you about this? We had this confrontation an hour ago.
Well, not the question I asked you, sir, but, just trying to keep my sources straight and confidential.
Oh, good gracious. Sir, you are within our laboratory
Now,
asking us
people have
questions.
been saying you stole this chunk of ghost rock from his mind. Would you say that's true or false?
What did you say your name was?
I'll put down true. And he starts to write. Phineas Faraday.
Kane steps in and grabs the pen or pencil out of this man's hand.
Well,
You've heard nothing.
Well, I don't know about that, sir. This is America. And he pulls out another pen and starts writing.
Hey, you got any ID
Can't stop
on you
the
there?
facts. Huh?
ID? Hey, you can't just walk in here. You have any sort of identification
So
on
no
you?
comment.
With no
comment,
evidence
yeah,
to
get
support
the
your
hell out of here.
claims, We have no reason to believe you're even a reporter, let alone that you know we have stolen something from somewhere.
You're also trespassing right now. I'm going to have to report this, I'm afraid.
Seems like you're a fan of trespassing. I thought you'd be just fine with it.
I don't know what you're talking
That's
about.
quite the accusation you make there, sir. Are you a ranger?
Agent-
Are you deputized?
He is certainly not a ranger and definitely not deputized.
Then I suggest you change the angle of your approach here, sir.
Agent Boudreaux takes a few steps forward, takes the notebook and the book out of his hands, and just throws it into the fire.
Dolores' shocked expression, and then she dives towards the fire, like down onto her knees, like trying to scoop it out as quickly as she can to stop it from burning.
There, report that.
Phineas scrambles down there on the floor with you. His hat comes barreling off his head as he slides down on his knees on the wood floor. Thank you. He snatches it out of your hands, if that's all right.
Oh yeah. She blows on her fingers a little bit and then glares up at Agent Boudreaux. Sir, we do not destroy others' property, regardless of our right to shoot them in the face and call it self-defense, because this is Texas and he is trespassing. She glares over at him.
Oh, well, if that's the case, and he reaches down into his holster and draws a pistol and cocks it.
Listen, if you folks don't want me here, I'll leave right now. All I need to know is, can I quote you on this?
No.
Absolutely not.
Thank you very much. See you later. And
Does he have his notes?
He's got his notes.
I take his notes. I'll roll fighting if I have to. He's not getting out of here with those notes.
You come at him, and he kind of smiles, tucks his head down, and tries to bolt out one of the sides.
Can I assist Boudreaux in stopping this man?
Yeah, for sure. So why don't you make a fighting roll, and for every success and raise you get, just against a flat 4, he'll get a +1 to his roll.
Success.
Hey, so +1 for Boudreaux. Blows up a 6
That is an 8 + 1, so a 9.
with a raise. Yeah. How do you want to apprehend him and take his notebook?
So I think all he really does is reaches, he tries to rush past John, and he reaches out and grabs him by the back of his shirt, and I think just with a quick movement grabs the notes and just twists them in a way that he can't hold on to it with his wrists, and it just kind of comes ripping out of his hand.
Well-
He takes it, holds it back behind his back.
And then Kane just shoves him out the door.
There's a shot of him landing, butt kicking up dirt, kind of picks himself up, shakes himself off, and then kind of jogs away.
That piece of shit.
That didn't take long, did it?
That was obviously set up by Mr. Wharton.
You think? Where's all this goddamn attention coming from, Grant? Thought this was kind of a covert operation.
Nobody ever bothers us out here.
I was under that impression as well.
No, Warden probably really wants this hidden. This might be part of a cover-up.
Well, I think I just want my money now, and I want to be getting going.
If we've got all these distractions out of the way, then I can get to work, and Grant and I can figure this out. Can we make it a few hours, please?
I'm a little bit worried there, Doc. If Wharton did send this guy, that's obviously not over between us. Could be scheming attack on us, or I don't know.
Who would do such a thing?
A lot of people. John starts flipping through these notes to see what this guy had on them.
You thinking law enforcement's gonna get involved?
Absolutely.
Why don't you make a research roll, Cameron Reed? And we're going to do this at -2 because of his terrible handwriting. Oh, whoa.
So it's a 16.
Nice.
What do you want to know? Everything?
I want to know, if he stated his sources, where he got his tip, basically why he's here and how much he knows.
Left-handed, right-handed, we
Yeah.
want it all, dude.
Perfect. He's right-handed. It does appear that earlier today he was at the Wharton Manor, but he did not list his source by name in the book. It was like a code name or something, you know. He had that, and also directly before that, he had another investigation going on in Sootbell, so it looks like he dropped whatever he was doing today to instead pursue this.
Interesting.
Listen, Grant, we can't take this any further. Peggy's not so quick. Do we have transportation? All of my equipment for diagnostics and reading all of these reports will be here.
I think it'd be safer to just, hit the road, go to another chapter somewhere.
Oh, that could take a
Now-
day to get all of the equipment together.
We don't need to bring any equipment. They'll have equipment there.
Now, I feel that you lot are really missing the point of this investigation. You are caught up in this big hunk of gold. We still don't know what caused such an explosion, and if potentially the mine could explode again.
Yeah, those creatures are indeed a concern, but I think we're going to need a little bit more firepower if you want to deal with that. I think the best play here is to get this artifact into safe hands in a safe place, get the people we need, and come back.
I agree with Grant, although I have a sneaking suspicion that between the doctor and myself, I have an extensive background in research and archaeology, translating texts. This is, what I was trained in. I'm very confident that we could perhaps even unravel the mystery or find a clue right now. And I, for one, don't think that we should risk transporting something like this that is already gaining attention to another location.
You're not going to be able to translate anything with a bullet in your head.
She looks over at him like, what?
Wharton owns this town. He's got a lot of money, and he's got a lot of people. If he wants us dead, I don't know why he didn't do it down there in the quarry. He obviously hasn't dropped this issue if he sent this guy to talk to us.
I appreciate Isaac and Marshall backing me up on the plot of keeping the rock here, but we don't have to do that. I can make everything work if you move it too.
Well, I'm also trying to stay here. If I don't know what the explosion happened, then that's my whole mission. So
Totally.
Well, this research is all very fucking fascinating, Grant, but where is my goddamn money you're promising me?
The society has it, and if you want it, we're going to have to give him this artifact.
Then what's the fucking holdup, everyone?
There's a silence in the room as a few clocks tick away.
like I said, Kane, I am not interested in this artifact.
Well, I don't give a shit what you're interested, honestly. I'm interested in money, which I was promised. Now, if you want to go back to that goddamn mine, it's right over there.
Yeah, why are you so interested in why it blew up in the first place? It's a ghost rock mine. They blow up all the time.
Obviously, Mr. Wharton is trying to cover something up, and if he has some type of device or material that is causing such large explosions that they can be felt and heard several states away, it is and should be all of your concern.
If a man wants to blow up his own goddamn mine, what's the fucking problem?
Next time it won't be his mine,
If you're
Grant.
asking me, maybe he's trying to save everybody and lock those things in there. That's the only reason I could think of to blow up a mine. Think of all the money he lost doing that.
Are you so ignorant?
Am I so ignorant? You're like, oh, let's go in there. Let's figure out who blew up the mine. Let's kill some more centipedes. What do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen?
I think that
He
somewhere...
doesn't want us in there. You think he's gonna walk us back in there?
This doesn't concern you at all, Grant. That he is trying to cover up this accident.
You don't know what he's trying to do. You're making all this up with no evidence.
Exactly.
We have
Mr.
a
Boudreaux.
priceless artifact in our hands. Let's get that figured out first. Then we can maybe play around and see what blew up this mine.
There are lives at stake. If this is
Our
some
lives
type
are at
of
stake.
weapon...
Mr. Boudreaux, I implore you, take a step back and consider the context of what we have. She tries to be very subtle, like wink towards him. Build a investigation from the bottom up. We need to collect all the pieces, and then if needed, we can bring all of Texas down on Mr. Wharton if he's doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, what makes you think he has some sort of weapon? Why would he use a weapon on his own mine? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Do you have
what
some
it
evidence to
was.
support this, or are you just fabricating claims?
I know that something caused an explosion that, like I said, could be seen from states away. And it seems like no one is concerned about what the fuck that is.
I guess it would be ghost rock. Very flammable.
Listen.
Quite a lot of it down there.
Have you ever heard of an explosion
Fire
like this
coming
before?
out of the
Yes,
ground.
explosions like this happen a lot when mining ghost rock.
Never to this scale.
Then go kill the man and take over the mine yourself.
There you go. How's that?
We got bigger plans on our
We're
hands.
if you expect us to go back into the mine right now, you're crazy. Is that what you're implying?
I am simply implying that we investigate somehow. It is important to me that we understand what has happened here, not how we come into that knowledge.
Well, then why don't you go over to Wharton's Manor and investigate yourself?
Yeah, I ask him some questions. See what he says.
Fine.
Good luck, Cajun. Now where do we get this money and where's this place?
Oh, I don't have any more time for you. And Doc Soren's going to get to grabbing tools and things off his workbench and get to work on this thing.
Wait, you're actually going to do this now?
Well, you don't have a cart for me to put it in that's faster than Peggy now, do you?
We've got a cart, got some horses.
He'll sort of like smack Peggy on the butt and she'll turn around.
We could be in the nearest chapter. I
She'll
don't
start
know,
plodding along towards the door.
2 or 3 days.
Carry the goddamn thing if I have to. Let's just get going.
Oh, don't be unreasonable. And Doc Soren continues as best he can follow along with this thing.
John heads towards the exit and glances back towards Dolores. think he kind of gives her a subtle nod to like step outside to have a quick conversation.
She waits a strategic moment and then like slips outside next to him.
As the agent and the Texas Ranger move out into the hall, we can see the rest of the room kind of behind them looking at this amalgamated mess of ghost rock. And the hall they're in is this tall oak paneled hallway with dozens of portraits of famous members of the Explorer Society, all in front of or nearby like their greatest achievement. So many of them surrounded by infernal devices, others in extreme or unexplored parts of the world.
Yes, Mr. Boudreaux?
Now, you and I both know that, sure, that artifact is quite interesting and very valuable, that it is not the danger here.
Oh, I agree with you there. I don't believe it's to be of any danger whatsoever, but the knowledge contained in it is potentially priceless.
But we can save that for another day. This could be catastrophic. We don't know what is causing such devastation, and that is a threat.
Mr. Boudreaux, knowledge like this comes to us but once in a lifetime. As I believe, personally, it is my duty to capture things like this as soon as I can and add it to my collected body of knowledge of the supernatural. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but what you don't understand is if whatever happened here slips through our fingers, it could happen again, and again, and again, killing hundreds, maybe thousands of people.
Mr. Boudreaux, if you believe that I for 1 second am going to concern myself with destruction of the Devil's Rock, you have me pegged as the wrong woman. The only thing that matters here is learning and taking back what we can so that we have greater tools in our arsenal for fighting the evils that beset us on every side.
And you think whatever caused this catastrophe could not be added to your tool belt?
She considers that for a moment.
Sure, you can learn about some ancient society that is long dead. Or you could discover what is causing these explosions. The choice is yours.
He can see on her face that she is wavering. And then a steely look passes over her once again. Mr. Boudreaux, as you have already said several times, it is trespassing to return to that location. I am more than happy to take it up with my superiors or the good judge of this township to attain whatever warrants are necessary for us to conduct a thorough investigation. Right now, we were able to escape with our lives barely, and we now have a piece of whatever was in there. We must preserve it.
You are green, Dolores. And he turns his back and starts to walk off.
She glares after him. Ain't no Texas Ranger ever been green, Mr. Boudreaux. Then she takes a second and collects herself, muttering as she walks away very angrily, just muttering to herself. Ain't no green Texas Ranger walking about these parts. I'll teach him a lesson.
We cut back inside the room that's just littered with all these parts. I think these two gentlemen aren't very clean. They're pretty messy stuff everywhere. A dozen projects all in some configuration of complete.
Come on, Doc. We can't stay here. This is crazy. You know this.
Well, I just need a few more tools is all. Fine. If you get the car prepared and pulled out front, I'll meet you there in 3 minutes.
All right. And Dolores is back in at this point?
Yeah.
Where's John?
We're leaving.
We're leaving.
Why?
We're taking this thing to another chapter.
Grab as many books as you can that you think would be pertinent for our situation. Bring them along with you, and we'll do this on the road.
I just got a bad feeling. Water's too hot here. We got to get out of here.
She frowns to herself. Very well, Mr. Grant. I suppose you are the expert in all matters scurrilous, one might say.
Quickly, Dolores, we've only got a few minutes.
Oh, yes,
We've got biology on the right. We've got engineering on the left. The languages and anthropology is that pile over there on the floor.
As he describes the room moves into a buzz as Grant leaves. What kind of transportation are you trying to get for this?
Probably have some sort of wagon. We've got the horses, and Kane's probably coming with me, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
So me and Kane leave. So we just got to get the horses hitched up to the wagon. I don't know how many horses, 4?
Perfect.
4-horse wagon?
Marshall, when you say a few minutes, how much stuff is he bringing with him to analyze this thing?
Well, he does have a lot of his, crucial tools on him at all times. But this is a pretty strange case thing we've got here, right? And it's going to be delicate work on the road.
The one hitch you're going to have is that you don't quite know what the base of this thing is yet. You don't know what you're going to need because you don't know what it is yet,
Right. I don't know which one of my bits are going to be too hard for the metal. I don't know what's going to be too aggressive in the RPMs.
So I think if I can pull on your character a little bit, if you just waited like 30 minutes or an hour, and tried out some stuff, you could bring significantly less tools, or you could probably spend about 30 minutes with a roll to like just gather up fucking everything, but it's going to be a lot of equipment.
I told him 3 minutes. I'm going to do as much as I can in 3 minutes.
All right, let's see a notice roll for this guy.
Oh, that's not what I anticipated.
Well, yeah, he's going to be bumbling around looking for all this stuff. You know what I do before every session? He's going to be doing that on a colossal scale.
Yeah.
That's a 6.
6 blows up.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Into a 7.
Okay, all right.
Very nice.
I don't think we'll make you guys roll to hitch up the horses. You start to hitch those up as Soren and Dolores pack up stuff into the wagon. Boudreaux, what's your best way to find information? Like if you're going to easily and quickly track down Wharton, how would you do it?
Well, I don't know that he's actually going to go after Wharton. I think he knows the same thing that everybody else does. Obviously marked, they're in hot water, people are looking for them. I think he just wants to send a message back to the agency, a coded message back to the agency, letting them know like what's happening, and basically that he is going to be alone on this.
You arrive at the telegraph office of Western Union, walk inside. As you start to give a telegraph, they ask for your name. And when you say your name, the clerk behind the counter kind of looks up with a smile and goes, "Oh, we actually got a telegram here for you."
Well, all right.
They pass it along across the table and you open it up. It is also a coded communique from the agency. Artifact discovered. Intercepted communique. Others know. Take with great care. Trust no one. And that's the entirety of the message.
Agent Boudreaux takes this note. I think he abandons the message he was going to send and just turns and heads straight back to the Explorer Society.
You notice as you leave. Actually, make a notice roll to notice as you leave. Let's do it at it's going to be an opposed roll. I'm going to roll a D8.
Oh my God.
I got a 6. Speed of 6, man.
Didn't, but I'm going to use a Benny.
Okay.
Still didn't. Damn it.
Do it
Damn
again.
it, Caleb.
You got one more. Do it.
No, I'm going to use it for soaking later when I get shot.
No, do
Which
it
is
now.
for sure going to happen.
Do it
Then
now.
I think all we get is a shot from a figure that's leaned up against the side of a building that watches you exit the telegraph office and then walk off as we cut back to the Explorer Society. As much as you would like 3 minutes to be the amount of time they need, Grant, takes you at least 5 minutes to get the horses hitched up, or at least 5 minutes, and then you leave Kane to the rest of it. You walk inside to check on them, and they've moved 4 books and 1 device.
Okay, so 5 minutes.
Well, Kane just killed all the horses too with a knife, so it's going to take a whole lot more time. Honestly.
Dr. Soren, do you believe this is enough? I have Graham's collected translation texts, Libby's ancient Greek, Thomas's prehistoric American artifacts.
I never keep track of these. Winston's.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget Winston's anthology? They are excellent, by the way. I was able to read a first edition in
3 minutes is
Oxford.
up.
It is
3 minutes is up, Doc.
amazing.
Let's go.
read
If you want to
4
push them
pages.
along, Grant, do you want to make a roll of some kind, like a leadership roll, like persuasion?
I got a 4 that blew up. There we go. It's 11.
Okay, yeah, so...
My rickety old bones feel invigorated, and
Yeah.
I'm able to hop and skip down that hallway, man.
There's a lot of yelling. I think whenever you two have worked together for a little bit.
Yes, but I think this is the first time that the doc has seen Grant this flustered before.
Oh, is he like?
I think
an
he's normally
animal? He thinks he's
pretty-
got the net falling on him or something like that.
Yeah, he's normally really laid back, doesn't take anything too seriously, but I think that interaction they had, plus the guy waiting for them back at the office, really has him spooked at this point, and he just wants to get the hell out of here.
The animal's feeling backed against the corner.
Yeah.
Well, I think that energy is enough to get you pumped up, Doc Soren, and I think kind of just maybe forget about some of the lesser details and really just grab what you need.
Excellent. Let's go. And he'll smack Peggy on the butt, and she'll spin around and start walking out the door with us.
We cut to the outside where you have pretty much everything loaded in this wagon. Are you imagining a covered wagon, Alex? What are you imagining?
Yeah, I think a covered wagon's good.
So we're loading up the back of that, and that's when you see Boudreaux clinking down the road just in time. He's within yelling distance the first time you see him.
So everything's ready to go?
Yeah, I think Kane is helping the doctor load the last thing into the wagon.
We're heading out, Boudreaux. Now's your chance. Hop on, or I guess go back down in that mine and do whatever investigating you want.
I think he just rides up. He doesn't say anything. He
A
just
rifle cracks, hit with the raise.
To who?
Boudreaux, you take 18 damage.
Fucking
Soak it, baby.
Christ.
A gunshot rings out as he's riding up on this horse, yeah?
Yeah, so I soak 1. So how many wounds is that? I'm down, right?
No, I think that's just 3
I have
wounds.
1 wound already.
Oh, you're down.
So Boudreaux falls off his horse. There's a crack of a rifle,
Yeah.
and Boudreaux falls limp off of his horse and hits the dirt.
Grant starts running over towards him.
Let's do initiative.
Okay, cool.
Cameron Day, 3 of hearts. Alex, 3 of spades.
Oh,
Isaac,
fuck.
8 of hearts. Marshall, queen of spades.
Oh, I don't want to go first. Oh, shit.
Cameron, 5 of clubs. Bad guy number 1 gets an ace of spades, and other bad guy number 2 gets a king of clubs.
What is this?
Caleb's top decking like a
Yikes.
motherfucker.
We got 3s over on this
I'm
thing?
saving that for a very specific time.
He just spent 3 days showing us how he fake shuffles and deals, and man.
I can't fake riffle shuffle.
Can I describe the courtyard of this place?
Yeah. Would you like to know if Boudreaux is still alive first or not?
I'm
I can't
harrowed.
get to him
I don't
yet.
die that way. Nice try.
He's incapacitated.
The only way that a harrowed can die is if they're shot through the head.
Can I heal you?
Oh,
No.
no. Magical healing does not work
What
on...
the fuck, dude?
I
So
don't
you're
know.
legit down.
I'm out of the game.
But someone can make a healing roll to like get him back up. Do
oh,
just
yeah.
a medicine.
If they rolled medicine, yes.
Describe this courtyard, man. That sounds great. Tell me what
Well,
this looks
there's
like.
a-
I assumed you were loading up in the street. Is that true, or are you sort of
I thought it'd be cool if it had like a little bit of a courtyard and
adobe wall sort of
yeah,
picture?
adobe wall, and then like one entrance with maybe like a wooden gate, and then like some cool flora that they've planted, you know, local.
Okay.
And then the main building, and then like the wagon.
Okay, I'm picturing this pretty clearly then.
Almost like an estate.
Yeah, that's really cool. So your wagon is sort of pulled up in front, and they've been pulling stuff off this wooden sidewalk, which has made you feel pretty safe, you know? And I think Bordeaux almost made it through the entrance before the shot rang out, and he fell dustily to the ground.
So the main path comes in, it circles around, and goes back out the same way.
The
and in the
Explorer
center,
Society has money.
yeah, they do. In the center, there could be a statue of like Trevelyan, Nicholas Trevelyan.
Could be.
They're like some of the really higher up Explorer Society guys.
Okay.
Maybe what was the other guy? Captain Roderick Pennington Smith is one of them.
So there are these two figures back to back in very like heroic poses.
Yeah, something like that would
statues.
be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down for that. So he collapses just on the other side. These guys that got a King of Clubs are going to do something. Goes well for them. They get a 5. Marshall, Dr. Soren, what would you like to do?
You heard a shot ring out and cuts to the inside of this wagon where Doc Soren has been sort of clumsily chucking a couple of his tools in on the far side of the wagon away from the rock, and he jolts with a start at the gunfire. What in blazes is going on? Are we being shot? I think he'll just use his movement. I don't think there's a whole lot of action he's going to take. He's going to dig in his pocket for his little pea shooter though.
You get your pea shooter out before another shot rings out. Everyone's exposed, yeah? Where is everybody in this place in your relation to the wagon?
Who was helping load up Dolores?
Me, Doc, and Dolores.
So all 3 of you are sort of at the back of the wagon.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm just going to roll another d6 here. Another shot will ring out from the top of one of these rooftops, though, across the way. So everyone except Grant will have a chance getting hit. We all know who it's going to land on, but
Yep,
1, 2,
sorry,
3,
Marshall.
4, 5, 6 lands on Marshall.
That's all you do.
And another shot.
It's ridiculous, right?
That is a bummer.
ridiculous.
Looks like that's a hit.
Oh, nice.
Only 6 damage.
Nice.
Caleb, could you blow those up a couple times and add 4 to it?
Doc Soren is shaken as
Does
this,
he get
as
any
this
cover
bullet-
or anything?
as the bullet clips the side of the wagon as he hops down. Good old Doc Soren is, he probably takes a little bit of shrapnel from some of the plank breaking.
Yep.
And he's shaken. Finishes dropping to the ground.
Behind the wagon. Okay. That shot rings out, and then Dolores, it's your turn.
At first, it's just a little look around, like, are we really getting shot at? And then once she hears it and kind of confirms mentally that it's gunfire, she'll draw that Gatling pistol and take cover beside Soren, kind of next to the wagon, crouched down. Doctor, did you see who was shooting at us or where from?
No, but I guess it came from, and he'll point to at least the one side of the wagon.
So she would like to then like kind of peek her head out and see if she can locate those folks.
Awesome. So what you're going to have to do is beat their stealth roll, which I now think is at a -2 because they've been shooting. So on a notice roll, you'd have to hit a 3. So it's up to you because you can do these multi-actions in one turn, but for every additional action you take, all of your actions are at -2.
She's not going to shoot because she has a Gatling pistol, and I feel pretty confident that they're out of range, so I'm just going to focus on finding them.
Okay, make a notice roll, beat a 3. Looks like you got a 2.
Pokes her head around the edge of the wagon, kind of searching, and then ducks back in, breathing heavily as the stress of the situation catches up with her. Doctor, we need to get these horses moving, or this will turn into a death trap.
All right. Now, if it's covered, that doesn't mean like the back of it is all wooden, right?
Right, it's open, sort of like an Oregon Trail wagon.
Okay, that's kind of what I was picturing. Cool.
So like a thin sheet.
Yeah.
Great. Good.
You'll provide cover because it'll be hard to see you.
Of course, Dolores. Just be sure to stay out of sight.
Of course.
And it's not his turn, but he'll begin to climb back into the wagon.
Grant Hildebrand.
How far away is this wall?
The entrance, well, now that you've described it, it's got a big sort of circular center, 30 feet away, so like 10 squares.
Yeah, I'm going to make my way over there, take cover behind this wall a little bit, look down at him, see how he looks.
Do you want to make a running roll to get there, or do you want to get like halfway across the
Well,
courtyard?
30 feet is...
It's 10 squares.
inches.
A yard is 1 square.
Well, we can run 6 and then we can roll up to 12, right? Or theoretically, it could blow up. We could run like
No, you can't blow up a running die.
Good.
That's the only
That
one you
makes a
can.
lot of sense. Okay.
You just run like 40 miles.
Yeah.
Honestly, meta talk, I think it would almost be cooler if you guys left me.
Do we know where any of these guys are, or is it just Dolores?
You do not know where anyone is until you make a notice roll. Any sort of combat training would tell you. I mean, they're just sitting on a roof somewhere, but it's a sunny day, man. You're not sure
Can I
where.
get on the wagon and start the horses running?
For sure. Yep.
I'm going for it then.
Then
what do I have to do for that?
That would be a riding roll.
Okay,
and
cool.
I think it was going to be a riding roll at -2 because they aren't going yet.
I got a 4. That's -2 though.
Just trying to make it difficult for you guys.
I have to get a 6 to succeed on getting a horse to run.
Oh, man.
That's what you just set up for me. So
Man. Sounds like you should be better at riding, Alex.
I have a D6. That's it. I'm not going to do another Benny.
You jump on the horses and they're like pulling in the wrong direction. 2 gunshots have gone off. The second one landed in the wagon they're connected to. You start to like try to get them to go and you realize that the brake is still on. You like hit the brake. They're starting to get excited, but they haven't really moved yet. Kane, what do you want to do?
Kane's going to run straight into the middle of the open and try and get to the cage.
All right, make a running roll.
There's cover out there at least, right?
The only real cover would be the wall, which is pretty close to Boudreaux. It'd probably be like 8 squares out instead of 10.
Could be some rocks or something, maybe. Some big rocks, landscaping.
If you want to spend a Benny, you could tell me about some sweet cover that is where between you and your target. But you could decide that after you roll 2. Roll a D6, not 2, just 1. No wild die
No
attached.
wild die.
Come on, please.
Yeah.
Please, seriously. There you go.
2.
So I need a 4. Well, I'm out in the middle of nowhere.
As you run out, you're going to get a 9 of clubs for next round of
Yes.
initiative.
Take
Not
that.
super high. Not
Alex,
super
you get a
high.
Queen of
Not super
Hearts. Dolores Day, 7 of Diamonds. Soren, 5 of Spades. Sniper gets a 2 of Diamonds, and the rest of them get a 4 of Spades.
Yeah.
Well, Grant, it's your turn.
So I got to get a raise to get these horses running still?
Well, now that you've sort of got them amped up, it's going to be a regular riding roll.
All right, let's try to give it a shot. I succeeded
Nice.
with a 4.
Okay, so you're now in control of this vehicle, of this wagon.
And you take cover away from Dr. Soren and Dolores.
He's in the wagon with me.
They're not in the wagon.
No.
You
They're
just said he climbed up.
No, they're behind the wagon.
I'm like on it, but I used my movement last turn to be off.
What?
Yeah, nobody's in the wagon.
He literally got off.
The wagon's speed is going to have a pace of 10, and it can run.
So it's faster than all you guys.
Yep.
What's your speed, Doc?
Well, it's got to get up to speed, right? Yeah, and it's making a turn.
Does
so
it have
if
an
we cut it off-
acceleration?
Well, he doesn't.
Quality?
He doesn't have to move all 10.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to wait for them to get in. I'm not going to take off, that's for sure. That's the end of my turn then.
So this thing gets a rolling start as we go on to Kane's turn.
Well, Kane's already more than halfway there, so I can reach Boudreaux with just my regular movement, so that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And I don't see why I wouldn't try to do it blessed healing, so is this going to negatively hurt you, Cam?
I don't know what it's going to do.
I don't think so.
Why don't you tell me what your intended result is? I'm going to give you a Benny for acting in character, even though you know it's not going to do anything to this Harrowed guy. And then just tell me what you're trying to do.
Well, so Kane has actually been a bless this whole time, and he's actually healed many people. It's always just kind of worked. He's pulled out his Bible, he's wanted them to be healed, and then the wounds just magically disappear. So I don't know why he would expect this to be any different. So he's literally just going to go up, he's going to pull out the old withered Bible from the back of his pocket, and he's going to just try and heal this guy. Well, it's a fail anyways. So it's a -2 because Kane always has a permanent -2 for always sinning.
Yeah, you did a good job. I love this guy.
Yeah,
cool.
so he's at a 3 with this roll.
So I think what happens is you like flipped him onto his back, you start to pray, and you look down at him, and you can see just like a black hole that has been punched like right through like where your neck meets your shoulders, like from the back through the front. There's just like a gaping hole with just like dried blood. It looks like the inside of a mummy, you know?
Well, you're not getting healed.
Okay, anything else, or is your whole turn just sort of kneeling there?
I think that was my whole turn, unless you're going to let me like pull him.
I would say you could drag him back into that walled cover.
Then I'm absolutely, once I realize that my normal blessing isn't going to work and there's obviously something really weird going on with you, I think I'm just going to default to cover and try and not get blown to smithereens.
To Dolores. The wagon has started to move. Soren is left behind, hustling afterwards. And if you peek past Grant running the wagon, you can see Kane pulling back your other ally towards the wagon, towards the statue.
She takes the situation in pretty cleanly. Are there any horses around that she could mount up on?
The horse that Bordeaux rode in on is running around. What's Bordeaux's horse's name? What's that horse like?
I don't think this horse has a name. Just like a black and white spotted horse. It's got kind of a boring saddle on it.
It is like a trapped rat in a cage inside of this courtyard. It had Boudreaux shot off its back. So I think just to get on this thing would probably be a riding roll at like -3, Dolores.
Yeah, she knows enough about horses to know that that's just a bad idea. So she sprints towards the wagon, and as she catches up with Soren, she kind of loops an arm under his arm to help boost him and scoot him along. If I can make an athletics roll to perhaps aid him in his running, I'm not going to leave him behind.
Yes, kicking the ass.
Yeah, if you want to make an athletics roll at -1 because of Soren's hindrances, if you're successful, he won't have to waste anything on that movement.
D4. Alex, would you roll for me?
Yeah, sure. Your 4 blew up, got a 7.
You push Soren along, and it happens to be your turn, Soren.
Oh my. Grant, wait.
Keep moving, Doc. Keep moving.
That's exactly what Doc will do. He'll take that little pep in his step, and I kind of picture him kind of like a cartoon character at this point. He clumsily fumbling and chasing after this thing, flailing. He's got his little coattails flapping, and he'll hop onto the back of the wagon kind of hard, and then sort of scramble himself up, grab a hold of the rock, and pull himself in.
Well, you're shaking too, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not
But
making
yeah,
any rolls
you
or
can.
anything
You
yet.
should roll to get unshaken.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
should do that.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope it goes without saying I'm trying to scoot up into there with him, but I don't know if I need to make a roll for that as well.
No, that sounds great. Just a spirit roll then, Marshall.
My spirit blew up into a 9.
Pull yourself up inside. Do you want to take an action or anything?
No, I used all my movement to get in. The only other thing he was going to do is try to get to the front of the wagon.
Hey, Doc, get up here. Can you take the reins for me?
Yeah, absolutely. Just give me a moment.
Starts to scramble up there.
Yep.
Grant, you haven't quite reached the entrance yet, right? Well then, once again, y'all don't see what this second pack of people is doing. The sniper's going to take another shot, now at Grant Hildebrand.
Kill someone else.
This looks like a hit with the raise with a 9.
Is there any sort of penalties for moving targets in like ranges?
I wouldn't say in this scenario, because you're going pretty slow. 13 damage, Alex.
Oof. I got 5 toughness, no wounds right now. I'm going to try and soak.
2 wounds right now.
He's spending a Benny to soak.
Oh, God. That 6 blew up. What am I
Oh,
going to
nice.
What am I going to do?
Whoa.
Oh, no.
Oh,
That's another 6 that blew up.
unbelievable.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. That's 6 blew up again.
You and your weighted dice,
Okay, that's
man.
a 3. That's 18. So plus 3, 21.
You soak all of it. What happened, man?
Well, I mean, I was turning around to like the back of the wagon. I think there's probably a little flap for people from the back to kind of get to the front, right?
Okay, yeah.
I had the reins in my hands, turned back around to see if Doc and Dolores were getting in, and they were. I think I just felt it maybe go right through the top of my hat or something like that.
Beautiful.
Almost like I didn't even know I was getting shot, and then I hear the shot and turn back around.
And that's when you realize you just had a gunshot through your hat.
Maybe I reach up and feel my hat. I can feel the hole. It's still warm.
Let's deal one more round of initiative here.
Why just one more? What's going to happen?
He's going to kill everybody after
Cameron Day, Ace of Spades.
Ace of Spades.
Pause for effect.
Why are you looking at it?
Alex, 8 of Diamonds.
Oh.
Dolores Day, 2 of Hearts. Sorry, buddy. Marshall, 10 of Hearts. Sniper gets a Jack of Diamonds. The other person gets a 9 of Spades.
Hey, you know what's really cool? There's an ace on the table, and we don't have to make any deals.
Cameron Day, you're up first.
So where is this wagon in relation to me in Dubro?
So it's about halfway through the courtyard. It's about 5 yards away from you.
And
5
I can run
spaces.
6 yards.
Yep.
That sounds like I'm going to need to make a roll to carry a body and throw it into the back of a wagon.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Athletics roll.
Can I argue for pure strength, Caleb?
No technique at all. Just
No
pick them up.
technique, just
All right,
ragdolling, just tossing this body
I'll
in.
buy it only because I feel bad.
Thanks, man. I'll take anything at this point.
Just leave me. I can go home then. I can go home.
You ain't
I don't
never
have to
getting
be
out of
here
here.
anymore.
I
Get
need to
outta
kill
here,
you
Reed.
myself. That 8 blew up.
Yes.
Nice.
That's a 12, Caleb. Is that enough?
He reaches down, he grabs Boudreaux by the boot, and just drags him face down and just lobs him into the back of the cart.
Here's what I'll say, Cameron. You can perform an additional action at no penalty this turn because of how well you did that. It was no effort at all to throw him in the wagon.
Well, then I'm also going to get in the wagon myself, which will hopefully give me full cover. Is that true,
It'll give
Caleb?
you some cover depending on the angle for sure.
Can I find an angle that I get full cover?
Yeah, sure.
Can I do something to make it so the snipers are more inclined to shoot at me than anyone else?
Sounds like a taunt roll to me.
Okay. I don't know what he would say, but I'm going to roll taunt anyways.
Also, keep in mind, I have a hindrance called Trouble Magnet. Anytime that the GM picks a random PC to get shot, it's me. So if they could just keep shooting my limp body, Caleb. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Only just
makes
because
sense.
he's dead doesn't mean you have to choose me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see?
So what if I don't have any?
So if you don't have a Cameron, it's a D4 -2, but you still have a wild die.
That's a 3 then, Caleb.
Yeah, you move up to like the front of the wagon probably to get them to like shoot at you.
Sure.
Give out a grunt or something. And I think once again, instead, the driver is hit by a gunshot.
Kill some boys,
How
Caleb.
many bennies you have, Alex?
0. I'm dead.
Okay. Oh, you blew up a 10.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so like 16 to hit, 2d8 plus 1d6 is damage again. What's your toughness?
5.
How many wounds do you have?
0.
Okay,
I'll
so
be fine.
hey, look at that. It's only 6.
Okay.
6
Man,
damage.
I'm barely going.
You
Wait,
were-
not even a wound. I'm just shaking.
You're just shaking.
Caleb, you're sitting on a lot of bennies over there. Don't you want to kill some boys?
Shut the fuck up, Cameron.
Marshall, it's your turn. Are you taking the reins?
Yeah, Soren's gonna keep clambering over the equipment he threw in the back and climb up, see that my boy just got shot at again, and he's gonna maybe try to like lean out to drive, but like not present his whole body. He's not gonna like sit in the chair if he can.
Okay.
Shoot some
That sounds like driving at a -2 now.
Ooh, that's a great.
That's not a great
Yeah,
Cameron.
so-
You should maybe
Well,
stop suggesting.
Here are your options.
I want everybody to die now.
You're just a little devil on his shoulder over there.
So you can either get cover, which is a -2 for them to shoot, and get a -2 to drive this thing, or you can just drive this thing.
And that's a riding roll, or
Yep, riding roll.
I have a D4 in riding.
Do it.
Good.
D4 -2, Marshall.
All the
How do
way
you
out,
feel?
or sticking.
No.
Or you could get shot in your stupid little scientist head.
What level of turtleneck is going out?
I think he is going to try to be a turtle about this, man. I think he's going
Okay.
to take it at a -2.
They're not trying to
We're gonna
shoot
crash.
you.
I'm having a hard time picturing this, to be honest.
You're sitting on our flat wagon. We've got the bucket of the wagon that Soren has leaned against. He's going to grab the reins from you, pull them down basically next to your lap, and he's going to tighten up.
He's driving from the back seat.
Imagine someone kneeling down next to a sink and then trying to drive a wagon over that sink.
Yeah. Does that help?
That's a really bad idea.
Let's see it, Marshall.
We'll see. It could be a good idea. Let's see this roll.
How was it?
It's about as good as you expect.
It was pretty close, to
Was
being
it?
good.
What was it?
It was a 5.
Oh, so if you didn't
Minus
do
two.
if you didn't do the minus
So it was
2,
a-
we would
it
have
was a-
been perfectly fine, huh? Cool.
A failure?
Sure
Yeah.
is, Caleb. Yeah.
All right, that means you got to look up some rules.
I'm also standing next to him waving a knife, so maybe that was distracting. Who knows?
There is quite the scene going on.
I'm gonna
And honestly,
stab you, Doc.
It gives you a chance to get into the wagon.
I'm in the wagon.
Everybody's in the wagon, dude.
I'm in the wagon. I
What
was
is-
in the wagon so well that I
You
had
beefed
time to
it,
get to
Marshall.
the front.
It
I
turns out
crawled
he
over
just
you.
personified and expanded his
I
understanding
mean, it
of
makes
turtle,
sense.
man.
I like to
Yeah.
take the front seat out of my car all the time.
So
I sit in
the
the
rule
back.
book sort of suggests, hey, most of the time you shouldn't have to make maneuvering rolls when you're just trying to do stuff. But a lot of things are going on here. You're kneeling down, holding onto it, trying to drive it while you're trying to get out of a courtyard in kind of an unwieldy wagon, while you're under fire. So I think it makes sense in this scenario. I don't think I want to slow down your maneuvering too much. How much did you fail by?
Just one.
So we're just going to see you can go 8 instead of 10. All that happens is right when you're leaving, you just knock the back wheel a little too much. It smacks into this adobe wall. We get a shot of like some cracking stone, mud off there, kind of pops up over one of the wrecked things and then pulls out into the street. As you pull out into the street, you see the second group of figures that I've been drawing cards for. A group of 5 riders are waiting at the end of the street, and as they see you pull out, they spur on their horses and start to ride towards you. They're just going to make a riding roll, sort of as like a running roll to see how fast they can move towards you, and then we'll go from there. They all make pretty good pace, and they are coming up quick. They're definitely within pistol range at this point. Alex, it's your turn.
So they're behind us right now
Well,
as we make our way out of
I
the
think
courtyard.
as you took a right, they are barreling towards you. You turned right onto the street that they were on, and they're coming towards you. There are other streets that you could turn down on, but of course,
Well, we're just trying to leave the city.
yes.
Right.
Yep.
So whatever direction that is
Right, totally.
would
Yep.
make the most sense.
Any direction is good.
I mean, I'm definitely going to try and shoot these guys. I've had my rifle on me probably this whole time, slung on my back. I don't know if it's an action to sling it to the front.
Characters may ready up to 2 items per turn as a free action.
You say I get 2 of those
Yeah.
interactions?
Mhm.
I'm going to reach back behind me into the wagon, and I'm going to pat my dog on the head. He's been back there the whole time.
Oh,
He's probably
okay.
a little scared.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to aim at one of these guys on riding. I've got improved trademark, which gives me +2. I think I'm going to try and fire twice.
I believe you're at a -2 because you're at an unstable platform, which they will be on at as well.
Okay, never mind. I'm just going to do one shot then. But as a free action, since I'm a hex slinger, before I shoot at this guy, I'm going to cast Smite on my weapon.
Cool.
So I'm going to try and do that first. This has to be a hex slinging roll. 6 blew up. So a 6 blew up into another 6, which blew up again into a 2. So we're looking at 14. So that's with the raise, which means I get +4 instead of +2. So I'm going to take a shot. A success. Or gives me a raise. 14.
Dead. A shot through their chest. She goes like flying off, like she's got a wire attached to her back. Just somersaults off the back of her horse and crumples in a heap on the ground as her horse peels off from the other 4 riders. Dolores Day, it's your turn.
Dolores Day, you are not being a very effective wagoneer, are you, Dr. Soren?
Oh, well, I'd prefer not to get shot. Did you see back there? That's dangerous.
Never been around a horse a day in his life. She just reaches up and rips the reins out of his hands, and more bravely than him, just kind of like slides up under the bench, grabs that whip, and starts like cracking it over the horses to get some serious speed in this baby.
Lovely.
That's perfect.
As you grab the reins, Dolores, are you pulling away from them or are you just riding towards them?
You know, I think we're trying to escape.
There are many streets coming off this one that would be easy enough to pull down into.
So she takes the first likely looking street and like pulls hard on the reins to get the horses going in a completely new direction.
Cool. I think with that, we're going to enter a chase. Music on the show was by Rudy Zuniga, Levi Rojas, or Caleb Sunstead. I'm Caleb, your GM or Marshall, and you can find me on Twitter at MarshallCaleb. You can also find me and the rest of the crew on our regular podcast, Sounds Like Crows, at Sounds of Crows on Twitter. Boudreaux was played by Cameron Reed, and you can find him on Twitter at CJReed211. Doc Soren was played by Marshall Sims at Mr. Malicious1 on Twitter. Cameron Day played Kane, and you can find him on our Discord server at patreon.com/soundslikeCrows. Grant Hildebrand was played by Alex Horrell, and you can find him at sasquatch@gmail.com. Ranger Day was played by Isaac Sunstead at Able the Crow on Twitter. Savage Worlds and Deadlands The Weird West are owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group. You can find them at peginc.com. Special thanks to Shane Hensley, Matthew Cutter, Simon Lucas, and Jody Black. Alright, y'all, that's it.